What up, my people? This is your man, Big Jefe, along with my homie of all homies,
ULIKA,
coming at you with another entertaining episode of our podcast, Off the Cuff. Hope you were able to enjoy the last two episodes before we took a week off. We have some exciting stuff this weekend. Got a special guest who's been on our show before when it was called You Don't Matter. He's back to share some viewpoints with us on all different types of aspects of finance that he'd like to shed awareness on. Now, we like to get different viewpoints on many different subjects, but that being said, this information does not necessarily reflect what we think or have opinions on. We also have a new segment that I think you all will enjoy. And of course, our infamous movie reviews called Badass Flick or Just Pure Shit. And our main topic of the week,
man, just pure shit.
Just pure shit. Our main topic
Just pure shit
is judgmental and overbearing people. And, should they be involved in your business? Let's talk about that. Let's dive into our first segment, shall we? Oh, hey, bro. It's your favorite subject. Notable deaths.
Oh, fuck. You're back with the death shit.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead, because I have a speaking of which.
Yes,
you
ahead. Do.
No. Yes, I do.
All right.
But go ahead.
Let me get through this one because, I know you talk a lot, bro. But anyway.
I talk a lot. Right.
Yeah. And so, and this is actually, it's funny because this is supposed to be a kind of a somber moment, deaths. But you just make such light of death, bro. I mean, damn.
Me. I mean, you keep talking about the shit. Who the fuck wants to think about death, bro?
I try to have respect for these people, man. And
yes, and I bow my head in silence.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's bow our heads for. This is someone in the 80s that I think a lot of people, because we have a lot of listeners that are our age range, in their 40s and 50s. So they should remember Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
I really don't know what you're talking about there, bro, because I'm not in my 40s or 50s.
I know you're only like 25 or something. I know. Yeah, you're young.
26. Oh. My official number is 26 to my kids every year. Oh, Dad, how old are you? I'm 26. Yeah.
All right.
My daughter Natalia said she was devastated when she learned that I was not 26.
We'll stand by that number, though, for your other kids.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So this person is known as to his family and friends, or was, as James Harris. I did not ever know his real name. Nobody did, I think. And anyway, like I said, he was known to wrestling fans as Kamala, the Ugandan giant, when the WWE was the WWF. And he died last Sunday at the age of 70. To me, that's not very old. And
now, hold on a second.
Oh,
you said at the age of 70?
Yes.
Now, when was he prominent at the WWF?
That was WWF? Back in the 80s. Yep. He was the big guy with the paint all over his face. 80s. And
the name sounds familiar. You say he's from the 80s.
Yep.
Let's see, 20 years to the 2000s, and then another 20 years, so 40 years. So
he would have been probably in his 30s, I guess.
So in his 30s, yeah. Okay. No, I was thinking, that the 80s were just, last.
I know, right? That's what it feels like, bro. So.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the WWF at the age of 60.
Well,
but okay, go ahead. I'm sorry to.
No, that's okay. I always thought Hulk Hogan was like in his 50s when he was wrestling, and I don't know how old he is now. I think he's in his 70s now, or late 60s. So I don't know. I always thought these guys were way older, but I think it's because I was like 9 years old watching this stuff. Anyway, cause of death is currently unknown of James Harris. So rest in peace to him. I also wanted to talk about, I know you want to get off deaths, and I only really had this one, but I got to add something because I was talking to my sister from another Mister, Rosie. Shout out to Rosie. And I was talking about John Ritter. You know John Ritter, right? We talked about him a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about him already in the last episode.
So I just want to mention him again.
We're going back to Three's Company, man.
Yeah, man. And I have the whole box set, bro, of the episodes of Three's Company, man. I love that show. But I wanted to be like him.
Coming out my door.
Yeah. Yep.
We've been waiting for you.
I forgot the next line. I was gonna say it, but thank God you remembered. But yeah, I wanted to be like him, bro, because he was so funny. He was a ladies' man in the show. You know what I mean? Even though he had to pretend like he was gay because the landlord didn't want, men and women living together in an apartment. That was the whole premise of the show. But
yeah, Mr. Furley, yeah. Mr. Furley.
Yeah, Mr. Furley and Mr. Roper, Tinkerbell and all this stuff. Back in the days when, people used to make fun of people and not get in trouble for it. But I don't do that. I love you, gay people. So
much love
from us, man. We support you. So yeah, but John Ritter, man, he it made me like him more as an actor because of that role, and I thought he was like that in real life. Because when I was watching it, I was young and impressionable. So. But when he passed away, I think he passed away in like 2008, I want to say 2009. And it was just like suddenly because he had like some kind of heart problem. And I was just devastated, bro. Yeah. So anyway.
No, bro, where are we going back to?
I don't know, because I miss him.
Obviously.
I miss
Obviously, brother.
Yeah, man. So, he was in It, I think he was in It. He was in Sling Blade. He was in Problem Child.
I don't know. To me, it was going to be Jack. And I always had a hard time seeing him play a different role.
I know, right?
He shown up on a couple of the, man-hating channel movies, the Lifetime.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, psycho boyfriend, psycho doctor, or some psycho killer type guy, that at the end or getting arrested.
Yeah,
but he just sell it to me. It's like that dude Al Bundy. I don't even know his real name. I just know him as
that's Ed O'Neill.
To me, he's always going to be Al Bundy.
Yeah,
him.
I know what you mean.
I just he just got that face, and he played that role very well and
perfectly.
Just playing any other role. But apparently, he's a very well-to-do guy. He's made enough off of that Married with Children.
Oh, for sure, man. I think they all did, especially him.
But go ahead. Continue with your deaths, man. How many more deaths do we have to listen?
That's all, man. I'm going to be nice this week.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. So now, speaking of deaths, bro, have you had a chance to watch any segments or episodes of that?
Oh, man. No. I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's right up your alley, bro. I mean, the very first scene, the first 2 minutes is some grueling death shit right there.
Well, they told me I was going to like Dexter as well, right? And I saw the first episode, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good, and never watched it again. I just think I'm lazy like that. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I wanted to watch it so I can share some of my thoughts on it. I'm sorry. It's called Hannibal, right?
Yeah, it's called Hannibal. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Get it? Not that I'm getting paid by Netflix or anything, but
yeah, don't promote them. No,
I didn't want to sound like a Netflix commercial, but
man. All right, well, let's get into our other segment that I just made up. It's called Off the Cuff Stuff. So
off the cuff stuff.
Yeah, because sometimes, we want to talk about some bullshit. I mean, we talk about bullshit all the time, but sometimes we want to, get stuff off our chest, and it's not necessarily in the main topic. Or maybe not necessarily anything anybody wants to hear, really, but figured I'd throw it in anyways. I wanted to talk about, I had a good time just this past week. I know we didn't do our podcast because I was in Maryland, and I wanted to say I went mini golfing and visited my family, and that was fun. Nothing too spectacular.
Was that the first time you ever went mini golfing?
No, but it just sounds like it, doesn't it? Sounds like, oh yeah, golfing, yeah. But no, it was.
My son Daniel, since he was very little, since he could walk, I don't know what it was about golf, but he really took a like. So at the time, I had the gas station, mechanic shop at the gas station, right? And I used to go to the Bank of America right there on at the Columbia Mall in Maryland. So I used to, drag my kids pretty much everywhere I went, and Zeke was the the vice president of that branch, and he had a little, those in-home type of golf pads, it's like fake me out grass for maybe about 15 feet, and then there's like a little hole with a little flag, and you practice that way at home, So there was one there, and Daniel just fell in love with it.
Oh, okay.
And so where I'm getting to with this is that in Maryland, actually,
Just kidding.
Jessup, Route 1 on 175, right?
Yeah.
But on 175, though, not closer to 216,
right? Okay.
Over on 175. Once you go from say 95 and you go towards Route 1, and just past Route 1, there's like a shopping center there, right?
Yeah.
And behind there is something called Monster Golf.
Oh, I didn't know about that all this time.
Yeah, man, it's real nice. The kids have a great time at it. I enjoyed myself with Daniel there. We only went once, but and then we've played miniature golf in other spots, but yeah. Go on, continue.
It's fun, man. And we had a good time. My mother went with us, and my sister, and and my wife and kids. But it was a lot of like little hills and stuff that she had. My mom had a little bit of trouble. I had to, help her through some of these what do you call it? These holes, right? And then she saw this one guy who was in worse shape than she was, and she goes, "Oh, I guess it's okay that I'm here." That guy, he could barely walk.
That kind of sounds like maybe this dude might have been hitting on your mom, bro.
No. He wasn't even. No, it was just a guy she saw. But I'm pretty sure
Would
that
be a problem.
Well, I'm going to say is I'm pretty sure if he saw my mom, he, not for nothing, but I think he would hit on her. Especially the way he looked. But I think he even had like a walker, bro. It was, I don't know, man. It was it was fun. It was a fun day. Oh, and Shayla, shout out to my daughter Shayla. She got a hole in one, bro. Yeah,
a hole in one.
Yeah, she got a hole in
one.
No
kidding.
And Heather got a hole in one. So go figure. Heather and little Heather got a hole in one. So shout out to my wife Heather and my daughter Shayla for the whole.
No. It's not little Heather. It's Mini Me H.
Yeah, Mini Me H. Yeah,
Mini Me H.
I'll tell you, man. She is sassy, bro. The other day, bro, I actually in Maryland when we were leaving Uncle Dwayne's house. Shout out Uncle Dwayne. It was a good time. We Uncle Dwayne and Titi Lydia, that's what I call Titi. Uncle Victor was there too. My daughter tends to I don't know if she was role playing or what, but she tends to be like a mother hen, And so she said to me, "Daddy," and she's 10. Remember, you know how your daughter was when she was little, and I thought she was cute too. So she says, "Daddy, you need to remember your glasses, your wallet, and because you forget a lot of things." And then I looked at we were right at the door, and I looked at my family and I said, "God, the attitude on this little girl, huh?" And then she goes, honey, I don't have an attitude. I got a personality. He just started busting out laughing. And then my uncle looks at me and goes, you did good. You did good, nephew. I'm like, I didn't do nothing. Should that little girl
or niece?
That little girl crazy. Nah.
Oh, he was talking to you. Yeah, he was talking to you. Okay.
I did good raising her and stuff. But, she gets that stuff, I think, from like a lot of the stuff she watches.
Well, bro, at this age, this is when they start to discover.
They
start to discover themselves, and they try to what works for them and what they're comfortable with.
For sure.
I think it's a wonderful time.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed watching my kids.
Yes. Like I told my uncle, I love Michigan. I love watching my kids grow here. And I think they can do more here actually than they can in Maryland. As far as, education, sports, except for the COVID shit. But yeah, I love watching them grow too, man. I love spending time with them. They're my, like I said, those two are Xavier and Shayla, man. They're my the thing I live for. So you know what I mean. For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. By the way, I think you did a great job with your kids. I actually seen Juan when you showed a shout out to your son too. When you showed me that video of him and you were doing the drywall. I thought that was hilarious. And then the tiles on the floor.
It was the wood floor. Yeah, it was the wood floor. Yeah.
Bro, he reminds me so much of you, bro. Like you, but with I don't know, a different type of, I guess, kids are all different, but he just reminded me of you, your look, your physique, everything. And I was like laughing because I remembered us doing a job for Freddie Garcia. You remember Freddie?
Oh, in life, guys, in life, guys, pay attention, huh? In life, you have to follow through, okay? Yeah. You have to follow through in life.
Follow through, man.
It's interesting because I throughout life, I constantly remember that experience that we had with Fred. Garcia. Let me say that, Fred Garcia. Yeah. He was, just for those of you who don't know who Fred Garcia is, he was the janitor at our high school, Richard R. Green High School of Teaching, in case you missed it on the previous episodes. And, we typically, we weren't, it was rather interesting. And I tell my kids this all the time, and my wife and stuff, which
and anybody who's listening,
really rather interesting. Right, pretty much. Throughout our high school career, we used to go hang out with our teachers after school. How does that work?
I know, right?
How does that work?
Good times.
Right? There was that time with Jack, our English teacher, and Doug, who was our advisor, as well as the history teacher. Yep. We hung out with them. We went to go shoot with them. They were all nervous because we were drinking beer, and it's like, oh my God, we're going to get fired.
And
too late now.
And if our audience, if they haven't figured out by now that we call them by their first names, which
that was the theme of the
school in high school, you know what I mean? But that was the thing. And so I thought that was Jack. There was David. I think David was the guy you were talking about. Like they used to hang out with Scott.
Yes, the other math teacher that used to work side by side with Scott that went camping with us.
I pissed him off once, big time.
Yes,
when I had my little attitude.
Pissed off a lot of people, bro.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know. Thanks for reminding me. I pissed off even the Arab guy in the store.
Well, hold on. Let's get back to Fred. Let's get back to Fred Garcia. So he was the janitor at our school.
I didn't piss off Fred.
And I don't remember if. I think we got officially introduced to Fred. I believe we were on detention, actually. Really didn't feel like detention because, we were shooting paper clips with rubber bands at each other. It was me,
Right.
you, and,
Yeah.
it was me, you, Tom, and Angel
Like,
Pagan, shout
it's
out.
like the Breakfast Club
Uh,
movie. Yeah.
and Fred was needing help, and so Alan Linton, who was the principal of our school,
Right.
we used to hang out with him quite often, whether it was detention or not. After, uh, and so he told us to go help him do some stuff, and then after that, Fred became a super. In New York, that's a thing. It's called super. Basically, that's the person that is entrusted to take care of the building's maintenance, like cleaning the windows, making sure the trash goes out, cleaning out the apartments and getting a new tenant in there, that type of thing. And he
Yep.
got one of these buildings across the street from our school. When he did, he contracted us to come and work for him / with him. He said he would pay us $10 an hour, and he'd give us a task without any instruction. We'd be there for 4 or 5 hours. We damn near killed ourselves sweeping up dirt. I think it was in a section of the basement. And he went out with his family. He came back and he was like, "Oh my God, you guys are gonna kill yourselves! You got to throw some water down. What the hell are you guys doing? Where the hell are you?" Because we had the cloud of dust up in the air.
Yep. I remember
We
that.
took off our wrapped it around our faces
Oh, man.
so we could breathe better.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I remember
every
it.
time, whether it was we were stripping and waxing the floors
Oh,
or
yes. And singing,
painting
Jeffrey,
walls.
Jeffrey, my son.
Exactly. Yes, free my soul. Yeah. And every time we had a task to do, it was never done right. But I'll tell you this. You remember how when we first started with him, he told us to clean up the floors, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were basically stripping. I didn't know that that's what we were doing at the time, but we were stripping the floors and then waxing again. We had the electric buffer type machine that we kept knocking it into walls. We damaged the wall.
But you know what, though? If I may interrupt you, that actually helped me in the Navy, bro, years later, because I found myself buffing floors.
Well, let me tell you this. It also helped me as well. I had, for a short period of time, I had a contract at one of my many businesses where I cleaned floors for Walgreens in Maryland.
Shit. Okay.
So all throughout life, I've frequently thought about them. And what I was going to say about those floors is, do you remember he used to see all these spots that we couldn't see?
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he would come in.
Look, you got spots right here. You got spots right there. And it was like, no, what are you talking about? Right here, right here. Look. You see, it's gone. You see, I just did it. You see, I'm telling you guys, in life, you have to follow through.
That's the
and what's funny is recently I work at Walmart and I have to learn everyone's job at Walmart. So I've been working at the deli, and so they have these trays that they bake bread and donuts and stuff like that. And they said, "Oh, go wash the trays," and I noticed a whole bunch of spots, right?
Oh,
because,
shit.
I became paranoid over spots because of Fred Garcia.
Yeah.
Down and dirty, into the nitty gritty and everything else. And, these ladies that are working back there, they come back to check up on me and they say, "You okay?" We're like, yeah. I'm just cleaning this tray. Seems like you've been cleaning it for the last half hour. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of spots on it. I had to remove all that stuff. Then they looked at the tray and they said, "Oh my God, it looks like it's brand new." And I'm still seeing spots, so I'm still working on those spots, and one of the ladies goes and says, "I mean, seriously, it does look like it's brand new. Here, I'll show you." And she brings out a brand new one. I still didn't see it as looking brand new, but again, that is attributed to Fred Garcia, all the spots that he was seeing that I didn't see back then, and today I understand about the spots. I see spots everywhere.
We get it now, Fred.
And that goes to the old saying that stuck throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
Of having to follow through. I think that's a big lesson that I've learned in a very short period of time with someone that you just wouldn't think would be influential. But then again, at Richard R. Green High School of Teaching, that was part of their whole thing. Their whole mission statement was,
it was
to enable learning on our campus. And we were blessed to have a very good staff. All the way down to the people that worked in the kitchen, the maintenance of the building, which is all stuff that people generally take for granted until they get into adulting.
Yes.
Which, by the way, bro, it's off the cuff stuff. I would like to bring up adulting again and say, we should focus some of our sessions on adulting, the aspects of adulting, because there's
I think people would love to hear that.
It's not one topic that we could just talk about in just 5 minutes.
Right. Got to delve into it. Is that a word? 12? Yeah, that's a.
I mean, 12.
I don't
know. I don't know if that's a word.
You don't know? Yeah. I'll make it a word. But anyways, so before you take us into break, bro, I just want to report some breaking news to some of my fellow Washington team fans, Washington football team. I hate to say that, but yeah, that's the name.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. You love it. I know. But anyway,
the former skin.
I think by now everybody knows it, though. Since Thursday afternoon, it's not really breaking anymore, but it was breaking back then. Breaking news: they said that the minority owners of the Washington football team are putting pressure on owner Daniel Snyder to sell the team. Now, that's like music to a lot of fans' ears because we hate that owner. But I actually went on Facebook. Or not Facebook, Instagram, and I saw a lot of people, us fans,
and you fans of the Washington football team hate hearing anything that says Cowboys.
Oh, yes. Man, you just messed up my ears. What the hell?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I cleaned the wax out the other day. But anyway. Yeah, man. So no, I saw that a lot of people actually want him to keep the team now. It's almost like they're rebelling against this whole name change thing, and they want him to be the guy who says, fuck you guys. I'm keeping this team. I'm gonna rename it again, Redskins. And I don't know though.
Yeah, quick question. So why is it that the minority owners want him to?
Hmm?
Say it again. Want him to sell the team?
Because, well, since he got the team, it's been like over 20 years. I think in 98 he got the team. Okay. And it's been horrible the whole 20 years. Like, there hasn't been, I'm going to say there've been a couple of years that I can remember that we went to the playoffs. I think 05 was one of them, 07 and 2012. But other than that, we did nothing. And we haven't won a championship since like 92. I mean, it's...
Okay, so now let me stop you there for a second. Yeah. I got a question. Now, when did you become a fan, diehard Redskins?
Around the time he bought the team.
All right, then. I guess he's been doing a great job.
No, man. No, you know what it is that my Uncle Dwayne, he is a huge Redskins fan. So, I was always at his house watching the games. That's when I moved. That's around the time I moved to Maryland, and I was not really into football that much. Like, I remember when I was 11, rooting for the Giants a little bit, going, seeing the Super Bowl in '86 when they won. And later on in the Navy, I got like a jacket that said Giants and it had Boricua on the top. Boricua means Puerto Rican for those of you who don't know. And then I gave that jacket away, and I was like, why the hell did I even wear that shit? I wasn't a Giants fan at all. So Sorry, Giants fans, but it's Washington football all the way. So, you know what I mean?
Washington football all the way.
Oh, no, it sucks.
Yeah, it just sounds like a high school team. I
It
don't
does.
know. That
And you
name
should
just
see.
it's not catchy. You got to have a catchy name.
You should see their freaking uniforms. They look like a. I mean, some people are saying that it's fire. They look good and all this stuff, but they have numbers on their helmets now. It look like something out of like 1906. Um, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just ridiculous. I don't even know if football was invented that way back that time, but they look like a college team or a high school team. They really do. It's weird.
All
Man.
this time that I've lived in America, bro, I still don't know how to play football.
Mm.
I think the furthest I've gotten with football is first down, third down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I know you were mainly in soccer, right? Like the real football.
Well, it's not the real football. It's just world football. What they
Yeah,
call
world
football. But
Yeah,
spelled FUTBOL.
right.
Football.
Right.
Football.
Now, is that spelled like that everywhere? I thought it was just Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
It's everywhere. Football. Football.
Football.
Yeah. So, anyways, go ahead and take us into break, since I know you like to do that. And
all right. So, are you done talking about the former team now known as the Washington football team?
Yeah, I'm done. Have you ever wanted to make your own podcast? Anchor can help. It's free. The creation tools allow you to record and edit right off your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from it too, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need in a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I just kind of feel like you left us hanging there, bro.
Well,
I don't know.
I do want to say one thing to Dan Snyder, if he hears this podcast by chance. Dan Snyder, do us all a favor and sell that goddamn team.
Now, you see, I have to play devil's advocate because pretty much since he took over the team, you've been an avid fan. Die hard.
Yes.
You have Redskins flags, jackets, hats,
umbrellas,
throw covers, on your couch,
Well, let's put it this way.
Coming to your house unannounced as usual. And you guys got your jerseys on, you and your wife.
Mm-hmm. I got a picture of my family and all my family in Redskins gear. Mm-hmm. And let's put it this way: when I used to walk into the places of work, right? All these, because I had a lot of jobs in my life. That's another episode. But anyway, when I worked,
and it ties into this whole adult
thing. Yes,
thing.
It does, man. Oh, yes, we could talk about that. Yes, we should talk about that. But yeah, when I used to walk in these buildings, right? People always knew this dude's a Redskins fan. And one guy said, he saw me every day. He was a security guy. He goes, "Man, you're like a walking advertisement for the Redskins." I was like, "Yeah, I guess you can call me Billboard."
Well, there you go. I think in retrospect, I would say that what is his name? Snyder? Mr. Snyder? I would say he did a wonderful job. He just didn't win any playoffs or anything. But
well, they got him in the playoffs 3 times, but that's 3 times in 20 years, bro. That's not good. I mean, it's better than the Cowboys. Turds.
I don't know much. I don't know much about football, but how much is it that the owner of the team is responsible for them making it or not?
Let me tell you. The thing is,
please,
because it's something that I've thought about myself. Like I used to think the coach doesn't really matter, but boy, was I wrong. I mean, the coach, he designs the plays for this game, for the games against these teams. And yes, the players are the ones who execute it, but you got to give it to the coach. The coaches are like playing this chess game, and the players are just basically the pawns. I hate to say it that way, but they get paid a lot, so their feelings are okay. So, but when they go against each other, it's basically the coaches going, throwing different plays from the playbooks at each other, and then at the end of the game, it's whoever strategically moves better. You know what I mean? Whoever did the moves better. And the owner comes into play because the owner gets, I think he hires the general manager. He actually hires the coach and all this stuff. So if you don't hire the right people and then let them do their jobs, as Dan Snyder has proven that you could be a bad owner because he meddles, which, by the way, our main topic has something to do with meddling in your business, people meddling in your business and being judgmental. But that's another, we're going to save that. But yeah, Dan Snyder has proven to be a bad owner because he basically, he doesn't let people do their job. When you get a coach, a general manager, who, by the way, general managers, they pick the people in the draft, the players in the draft. I think mostly, and of course the scouts and stuff. But you have to as an owner, let people do their job and don't meddle in the business. But he's the parent. He's like the mom and dad. And so they need an owner, but they need him to stay out of the business because really the thing about the thing about Dan, one more thing. The thing about Dan is just that he is a fan, just like us. And when he bought this team, he used to do the Snyder Communications. I think it was a big IT company or something. That's how he made his billions or millions or whatever he got. But, he didn't know that much about football. He still doesn't. After 20 something years, he's still learning to stay out of, let people do their jobs. So I don't know. I just feel like, he should sell the team.
Well, here's my point of view to that statement. Now, as I've mentioned many times, I don't know anything about football. So the first thing I'm going to say is you mentioned that the coach is the one that designs the plays against the opposing team.
Mm-hmm.
I was always under the impression it was the quarterback. Now, the coach does design plays and they practice those plays and so forth, but then the quarterback makes the call depending on the situation. Because making a play doesn't quite always work out in that favor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have the other component, which is the opposing team. They can interrupt your play, and then what do you do on the fly?
Well, yeah, they call audibles. What's called audibles?
It's very confusing.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of people up there. I didn't realize how big this thing is. It's a major to do.
Yes, it is. They do have other people underneath the coach, like I think it's the offensive coordinator, and the quarterbacks coach deals with the quarterbacks, and the offensive coordinator, he's the one usually calling the plays, but sometimes the coach takes over, and they kind of congregate about what play to play. And then when you get into watching it all the time, you realize how much of a major thing goes on behind the scenes and what impacts the plays and the games, outcomes of the game.
Okay, so so as being the majority owner, he basically calls most of the end decisions, I guess you can say, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
And you stated that he meddles in his staff's jobs, but in this case, I suppose, I guess you could say he's maybe the CEO, which is he creates a vision, or he creates a vision and he tries to execute it with his and then sub managers to sub departments and so on and so forth. Um, he's a major fan. I'm sure he thinks that he's doing the right thing by meddling. But I'm more certain that he meddles more so because of the fact that it's his money that put up for the team to purchase it.
I understand.
Therefore, he has the right to do what he does. Now, with that being said, now my question is, you know, how much, let's say blame, if you will. I didn't really want to use blame, but let's say blame. How much of the blame should go to the players slash coaches, you know, and coordinators, as opposed to Mr. Snyder?
Check out the next part of the podcast on episode 7.